If you're not a beginner, this video is probably not for you because I'm just going to go over information you already know. But anyways, it's your boy Clouds, back again with another video. And today we're going to be going over the best fruits for beginner players to get. A lot of new players have been coming to the game as Update 4 is about to drop. I get a lot of people, whether it's in my comments, my live streams, my DMs on Discord, or even just on Roblox. I got a lot of people asking me, something along the lines of, hey, I'm a new player, I'm level blah blah blah, what fruit should I get? And we're gonna be going over which fruits are the best for beginners. Now first off, I just want to say I don't really think as a beginner you should be trying to go for Logias, but we're gonna go over which Logia is the best and overall which general fruits are the best. So yeah, hopefully this video helps some of y'all out. Okay guys, so before we get into some of the fruits you should eat, I'm gonna give y'all an example of a fruit you should not eat, bro. Literally, do not eat this fruit, bro. I don't care what people tell you. There's a lot of experienced players that will try to convince a beginner player to eat this fruit. Please do not eat this fruit. It is the most useless fruit in the game. Now, I guess it does have one use. You can go invisible, which means mobs will get off of you, but this does not in any way help you to progress. It doesn't help you offensively. It can't help you kill mobs. I guess the only thing this could be used for is if you get overwhelmed by mobs, you just go invisible and then they go off of you. But please do not eat this fruit. Do not let anyone convince you to eat this fruit. It is terrible. Now that we got that out the way, we can get into the fruits I would say you should eat. Okay guys, so there are two fruits that come to mind that I think you should eat, and they are both rares, which means they're relatively easy to come by. You can get rares for Pelly, or you can trade, boss drop items for rares and whatnot. But basically, these are really easy to come by, even for a new player. Pelly is really easy to come by, and the fact that you can trade Pelly to get one of these rares is really good. The first one I would say is Bari. Now, Bari has multiple uses for beginners, and it also has some end game use. Having barrier allows you to kind of cheese some bosses, so this allows you to have some boss farming capabilities, also as well as dungeon capabilities when you're max level. You can do this with teams, but one thing this is pretty good for is farming. I would say a lot of people disagree, but I actually got to max back in update 1 when the cap was 175 with Bari, and I can say it was overall a really good experience. There were some times where I would farm mobs or whatever, and you can use the little Bari wall to kind of push mobs away from you. You can use Bari cage to trap mobs and kind of go to town on them. You can use obviously Bari spikes. They're all useful for grinding, and kind of similar to Suke. If you're overwhelmed in a situation, you can kind of use Bari wall to get a bunch of mobs off of you. Also, the damage output of Bari is decent. But the real takeaway here is its end game capability. I mean, you can do dungeons with this. It's actually surprisingly really good in PvP, making this actually a solid first fruit to get. And you can get this fruit with pretty much Pelly. I've had people give it to me for Pelly, and sometimes you could just straight up get a Bari out of people. Bari is not exactly the most sought after fruit, so some people will just straight up give it away. Yeah, I mean, overall it's pretty good for a lot of things in the game. Dungeons, PvP. It is not good for CB's farming. It is not good for ship farming. However, you can do boss farming with it, so it is a decent fruit to start out with. And I mean, you can use this fruit to kind of help you get other fruits in the game by doing dungeons and whatnot. So this is by no means a bad selection at all. If you start out with this fruit, I would say it's a good fruit to start with. One fruit I don't recommend to eat is marrow. Marrow's not really as good as Bari. It's kind of most of its moves are single target, and the damage output of marrow is not all that good either. However, one fruit I really recommend you eat, and this is probably the best fruit for beginners, hands down, guys. Hands down, is bomb. If you guys been keeping up with my live streams lately, within the last 2 weeks, I've been doing these leveling my ult live streams, and I actually had bomb as the main fruit to level up, and I used bomb to level up all the way to max on that account. bomb is useful for everything in the game, guys. Everything in the game. You can do everything in the game, and as a beginner, this will actually set you up really nicely. Bomb's a fairly easy fruit to get, very attainable even for beginner players who have no knowledge. You are gonna have to work a little bit harder to get a bomb than Bari, because it is worth more than Marrow and Bari because of the fact that it's really good. But this thing is good for everything, even in endgame. So one strat you can do is put all your points into health, put 85 in the devil fruit, and while you're leveling up, anytime you need to kill any mob, just use self-destruct. It kills every single mob, and this is kind of how I used it to level up. This fruit's actually really good for boss farming because of the self-destruct and the explosive leap. You kind of cheese bosses that way. Me and my friends were able to duo elo boss easily, both of us using bomb. Dungeons, you can solo dungeons. I even have a video. I'll link that down in the description if you guys want to look at it. And it can ship farm decently. You know, you can one-shot Galleons with self-destruct and everything. And PvP, it is solid in PvP as well, late game. So honestly, this fruit, it just makes sense to eat. Like honestly, this is one of the best fruits you can get your hands on. In my opinion, you can literally do anything in the game, and like it's like a gateway to get other Logias, because as soon as you get to max, bam, just solo dungeons until you get a Logia, you know what I'm saying? So honestly, this fruit, in my opinion, is the best easily accessible fruit you can get as a new player. Now, I said earlier in the video, I don't recommend as a new player you try to get Logias. However, in the event, you know, let's say you get handed a Logia or something like that, the specific Logias you kind of want to go for, in my opinion, are Magu. Now, I'm not going to pull this out because I don't want to risk losing it, but Magu, in my opinion, is probably the best grinding Logia. And then the second one is Pika. These two fruits, as a beginner, I would say are the best you can get. Magu has its benefits. Really good for grinding, good for dungeons as well, good in PvP, good for CBs, or actually amazing for CBs, and ship farming. You can do anything in the game with it. And it has Water Walk. Pika, pretty much the same benefits, high mobility, really high damage, good AoE, good for everything in the game, especially farming. But like I said, I wouldn't really stress too much about getting these two fruits because they are going to be really difficult. So I really recommend you either go the Bari or Bomb route, unless you just straight up have someone that's willing to hook you up with a Logia, which is actually kind of hard to come by. But legendaries, you want to kind of shy away from if you're a beginner and you're in the leveling experience. I would say, I don't have it here, but Gora, I'll show a picture right here. Gora is not the best for grinding. I would also say Goro is decent for grinding. However, you could definitely have better fruits. Hiei is actually pretty decent because you can freeze the mobs with the ult and kill them relatively easy. Mary is also pretty good for grinding because of the high AoE, high burn damage moves that it comes with. So yeah, I don't recommend eating Zushi. Zushi, although it does have high AoE, the damage output is not the greatest for the fruit by itself. Although the bug fix where meteors don't go on the inside, they did fix that. So that might be a reason to eat it. So obviously the two legendary fruits you want to eat are really Pika and Magu. Those will give you the best experience, followed by Hiei and then Mera. So yeah guys, next up I just want to say, before we end off the video, I just want to say thank you guys for 13K. I'm actually really happy that we hit this milestone, and man, and the words can't even explain. We just hit 10K 2 weeks ago, and now we're already at 13K. We've been going like really quick. You know, my goal was to hit 10K by the end of the year when I first started this YouTube thing. We absolutely shattered that goal. Now my goal was 15K by the end of the year, and it looks like we're shattering that goal as well. We still got 6 months left in a year, and we're already at 13K, boys. And we got there. We got 2K in 2 weeks, which is absolutely madness to me. I'm actually thinking about doing another Logia giveaway to celebrate us reaching 13K. But yeah, my bad for this bit of a boring video that was only kind of geared towards beginner players. I'm actually kind of out of ideas. So if you guys have any ideas you guys want me to do in GPO, let me know, and I'll definitely do it. Because you know, it's kind of dry out here. Dry while we're waiting for update 4 to drop. Anyways, I don't want to drag this on longer than this. It's been your boy Clouds. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.